Hey, let's find out what went behind the scenes when the Spurs partnered with Ledger.
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, welcome back to Locked On Spurs. You're in the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs runner for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Glad to have y'all back. Hope you have a great day. And as always, thank y'all for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. If you're available for wherever you get podcasts. For those who don't know me, I am a Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. You guys are there every day. Just keep coming here every single day to Locked On Spurs. Today's episode is brought to you by Mark Money. Take control of your finances with Mark Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com and you'll get 50% off your first year. What are we talking about today? We're going to have a very special guest in just a few seconds. We're going to bring on the Chief Marketing Officer for Ledger, Ariel Wengroff. Yeah, she will be joining us in just a few minutes. We're going to be discussing what went behind the scenes when Ledger and the Spurs came together. Not just the Spurs jersey patch sponsor. It goes beyond that. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a big bulk of it, but there's more, such as community outreach, such as fan interaction, such as maybe she drops a little hint of what to expect during games with Ledger. Yeah, keep an ear open. She doesn't have it in the bag, but you can pick up a little clues. It was an honor to have her on. Really nice person, really represents what Ledger is all about. And she gives us kind of a glimpse of what would happen behind the scenes. It all started out in Paris. That's how it all started with the French connection. You'll hear exactly how strong that French connection is for this partnership to come together. And again, I want to thank her for taking time out of her schedule to join us on Locked On Spurs in just a few seconds. So yeah, without further ado, let's go and bring in our guest, Ariel Wengroff of Ledger. And we're back right here on Locked On Spurs, joined by Ledger's very own Ariel Wengroff. She is the Chief Marketing Officer with Ledger. And now that name should sound familiar to you Spurs fans, right? Because you've been watching the Summer League, maybe saw a special press conference at the Frost Bank Center. The Spurs have a new jersey patch, and it is Ledger. Ariel, welcome to Locked On Spurs.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
No, I'm glad you took time out of your busy schedule. I know you guys are busy over there. You got a new partnership with the team. You're seeing the patch, Ledger's name everywhere. Fans were excited. But Ariel, one of the first things that a lot of fans came up to me and asked me about was, first of all, what is it? What is Ledger?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Ledger is actually the world leader in securing digital assets. So everything that ranges from crypto to your identity, to anything that you see as value online, Ledger handles that and takes care of it, retail and enterprise side. We're actually in every single Best Buy in the United States. So if you are in the US, in Texas, which we know you are in San Antonio, you're actually about 15 minutes from a Best Buy and you've probably seen a Ledger before. And we also have the Ledger Live app. So if you do happen to have crypto or digital assets, you can actually use that to manage, sell, buy, swap, anything as it pertains to your digital value. It's the most secure solution in the world. And today, billions and billions are being hacked and scammed as it pertains to all of these issues. And so Ledger is really your solution, and we help defend against that.
Dare I say, Ariel, that Ledger's probably plays more defense than Wembanyama? Is that true?
I mean,
we got to go there.
Listen, we probably have more of a history of it. It is an amazing French crossover, which is one of the things we were so excited about the Spurs team and history of that. And I mean, it's pretty crazy, but there's an amazing French connection, obviously, between the Spurs, Wemby, and Ledger. And I will go to say that Ledger probably does have more defense than Wemby, but we're excited to have maybe a little bit extra height now having the partnership with the Spurs and having him as France actually has a history of creating incredible security technology. The credit card chip that helps protect you, that's also in your passport, is actually what's in a Ledger device. So we are the ultimate defender in the world for this. And so it's not surprising that some of the best defense talent in the world are some of these players.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I love the way the press conference was set up. It was exciting. That hype video really got me hyped. I mean, that was some great production on your end and the team's end and whoever all that was involved. But fans, outside of what is Ledger, they kept on asking me, okay, we get it, defense, crypto, all that stuff. But I think I even mentioned to you on X, or I may have posted to you or something, but y'all have these devices. And I think I mentioned something like, man, what is this? Like something fancy. What are those devices? And I'm assuming those are what you're talking about. You can get it to Best Buy, right?
Yeah, so ledgers are actually a physical signing device that allows you to sign a secure transaction. A lot of the times these days, when we say we post something on X, we authorize a bank transfer, we send money on Venmo,
Mhm.
we're doing, we're hoping that what we hit on our screen is what we think it is. But we know that there's way more phishing and hacking these days. And so
Mhm.
actually, you need a separate device where you know you're using a secure screen and you see what you signed to authorize that transaction. So we actually have a device that was designed by Tony Fadell, who invented the iPod
Mhm.
and the iPhone. And it's a beautiful, really lovely device. And this is the thing that has an e-ink screen like the Kindle that you can use every day for all of these different things to make sure you're taking care of yourself, you're setting your kids up for success, and you're doing something that gives you that peace of mind no matter what the circumstances.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, and again, those are just you just like you mentioned, go to your Best Buys, get them online.
Yeah,
There's
you can get them on ledger.com. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them on Best Buy. We have a ton of authorized resellers. We've sold about 8 million devices, and we actually
nice.
over 20% of global crypto. But it's also about educating for the future because, we use this word crypto, and I think a lot of folks still don't understand what does it mean and how does it help me. And the reality is, in the internet today, we live in much more of a borderless world in terms of how we interact. And so, actually, if we want to set people up for the future of digital asset education and understanding the future of money and services, they need to understand also how to protect themselves in that process. And so, Ledger really serves as the protection and that defense, but also providing the education. So, you have the choice whether or not you want to participate. And that's really important to us.
Absolutely, and we touched on it. Or we had some fun with it. We were having fun with the Wemby and the whole French, connection there and everything. But you're right. The Spurs have a historic relation with France, and not just Wemby. It's your Boris Diaw. I mean, you can go even deeper than just the obvious like Tony Parker or Wemby. There's Nando De Colo. There's Livio Jean Charles. There's always seemed to be a strong connection between France and San Antonio, and of course the team. We'll get into more of the details in a bit, but I'm assuming that was almost like a great way to start even talks between Ledger and the Spurs and having a partnership.
Yeah, I mean, we in the past have actually never found a sports partner that made
Mm-hmm.
sense. It actually wasn't something that we thought, oh, this is the direction that we need to take.
Mm-hmm.
But when we actually first met some folks with the Spurs team, which was back at the beginning of 25, when folks were in Paris because there were teams playing,
Mm-hmm.
NBA games in Paris and the Youngstar games, suddenly we realized that there were so many value synergies
Mm-hmm.
that the rock ethos that really is similar to Ledger values because we believe in uncompromising security, freedom, and ease of use. It's really
Mm-hmm.
part of our principles and really that sort of like team camaraderie. And then suddenly we started to see the French overlap. And
Mm-hmm.
Spurs has an amazing history of actually being one of the first teams in the league to find talent outside of the US.
Absolutely.
And so that was something that was so inspiring and
Mm-hmm.
important to us because if we were going to put our stake down in the heart of America, we wanted to do it with a team and in a place that was so representative of incorporating people from many different places. And the Spurs having that French connection was just like the
Yeah.
incredible kismet, it was just
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. It really is a global team. It's not just France. There's Argentina. There's
Yes,
there's been
exactly.
Spain. There's been connections to small, but nevertheless, it is a footprint in Brazil. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Europe. I mean, the
It's
Spurs.
huge. And those are all places that Ledger sells at,
Mhm.
and ones that we want to be connecting in users. And also the thing that I find so inspiring is actually, if you look at people who are interested in our world,
Mhm.
they very much ride the wave. Like it's not about if, you're up or you're down. It's about being a fan and being loyal and understanding. And Spurs have some of the best fans in the world. And so we also wanted to be partnering with a team that had fans that like really understood that long-term commitment. It's not about the short term. It's like, where are you trying to go
Sure.
together? So we really saw that unique opportunity as well.
Absolutely. She is Ariel Wengroff. She's with a Ledger. She's the chief marketing officer. And we're not done talking with her. When we get back, we're going to get into a little more into the weeds, We're going to be asking, like, well, what else transpired to get this partnership going? So much more right here on Locked On Spurs.
Hey, I want to talk about Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visible control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, spending in one place, and well, you just stop managing your money and start building wealth. You have surprising insights, all-in-one convenience, easy collaboration. For example, manage your money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track, share personal accounts, set goals, stay on the same page without the stress. And like I said, all-in-one convenience. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and plan long-term goals. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's Monarch Money, code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year.
And we're back right here on Locked On Spurs, joined by Ariel Wengroff. He is Ledger's very own Chief Marketing Officer. And if fans want to follow Ledger on social media, I'm pretty sure there's many ways to do that. Correct, Ariel?
Every single platform, we're just at Ledger, Ledger. You can find us. We're going to give you lots of tips, ways to stay connected, and we're super excited by the ways that we'll be activating with the Spurs themselves, whether it's in the app, in the arena, or through activations online.
See, Ariel, she just stole my thunder. See, I was going to ask all those questions now, but here we go. You know, we're just going to dive into it.
To say about all of them. We can continue on.
All right, well, let's dive into it. You know, you kind of teased us a little bit the first segment regarding, you know, how even, you know, the genesis of it. We're putting the seed, and that was the Spurs and the French games you're seeing, everything's going on and the team. But what were the other steps that were involved getting this deal done, becoming the new Spurs jersey patch sponsor?
Well, first, as I said, you know, we really met in Paris, which was amazing because it was kind of like our home. And to be able to welcome folks into our headquarters in the Marais in France was really special. And then the next phase of it, after many more conversations, was actually getting RC and then our CEO, Pascal, in the same room together at Madison Square Garden. We all came together. We had a meeting. And it was meant to be, you know, probably 30, 45 minutes, ended up being over 2 hours.
Wow.
Just incredible synergies in terms of the business, the sentiment, the values, the French connection, but also we were really inspired by RC's vision. You know, the Spurs also uses a lot of technical innovation. They really care about the players' long-term well-being. You know, you don't show up late for practice, you don't show up late for a meeting, and you don't see anywhere in their training center sort of the idea of everything is about putting the team first. For us at Ledger, you know, doing what we do is hard. We're innovating, we're building for a future that, you know, it's like when the internet started and everyone was like, am I going to need this or not? We're sort of in that phase of adoption. And so being able to sit with another CEO and leader that understood where our innovation was coming from was really special. So we kind of left that meeting and thought, okay, let's do this. And then it was a bit of a mad dash of all of the different teams coming together to actually say, well, if we did this, like, what are the ways that it wouldn't just feel like a patch partnership, but actually like a true integrated experience where we're helping, you know, the Spurs team continue to have that global presence and providing that innovation. And Ledger is working with the Spurs team to unlock in San Antonio, in Austin, with the global fans. And really also because you've got young players, you've got amazing fans, and you've also got incredibly innovative youth programs from education to rebuilding courts. And it's really important to us. We wanted to have a strong education component to this. So we suddenly realized when, you know, Spurs had the #2 draft pick that actually if we moved to try and announce this by then, we could really have Ledger be a part of that draft night. And so ended up being able to, you know, do that. It was an incredible announcement in San Antonio in the arena. We felt like that was so special. And then we all made to New York for the draft pick the next day. So that was a really wonderful way to kick things off. And we just felt like, oh, okay, we're like with family now.
Yeah. And speaking of family, and I think I alerted this to you on X the other day, or a couple of weeks ago, I should say. So much so, family, keyword there, is already you're seeing the Ledger patch being painted on San Antonio murals of players.
Incredible.
They've been adding that already. So that's how much of an impact it has already had on the San Antonio community. Oh, why do I bring that up, Ariel? Because if a player gets a mural in San Antonio, they're family. That's basically what the vibe is. So when Harper
Well,
got
I
his,
will say, like,
yeah,
I love San Antonio's like their murals are so beautiful.
yeah, they
I've
are.
been before and there's just so many. So when we saw that happened right away, the first thing we did was like, who's the artist? Like, how do we support? Because we actually have a digital art collection
Mm-hmm.
that we kind of keep. It's called the Ledger Collection, and we actually
Oh,
display
interesting.
at a gallery in our office, but also all over the world. So something we're excited about is like actually to work with local artists in San
Yeah,
Antonio, Austin.
yeah,
So yeah, when I saw that, I know the history of murals in San Antonio.
yeah,
So I was like, that's a good sign. I
yeah.
mean, I'm happy to see that.
Yeah, that's a very, very good sign. I mean, it was just instant. It was like announcement on the murals already. It was like, wow. I mean, the artist was on the ball right there. And I'm pretty sure he and all the other artists in San Antonio are going to update their murals as the season gets closer and closer. Other little funny tidbit too, when the announcement was teased, that, a special announcement coming on. And I think they had like a graphic. It just said something like locked in or something like that.
Yes.
Just like locked in. This guy here thought like, what, they're gonna bring in Locked On Spurs? What's going on here? That's my first thought. I said, I missed the memo. But I was obviously, I know everybody, I'm just messing around. That was not gonna happen. But
Listen, why not? Like
yeah.
maybe there's more to do here. We'll figure it out.
No, right, we'll figure it out. But nevertheless, it was awesome to see, Ledger, become a partner with the Spurs, getting the name on the jersey and whatnot. During the process, Ariel, was there any moments of doubt, like, oh my God, like, is this gonna happen? Can this happen? Can we make this work? Or was just that instant connection with the team that, you know what, we're gonna make this work?
I think once Pascal and RC had met, we all
Mhm.
sat together in that room. Frank, we were there.
Right.
That point on, there was no question. I think it was actually a matter of can we get there in time?
Oh,
Because
I
going
see.
through these types of partnerships, you
Mhm.
really, you want to make sure you're both on the same page because once you start,
Mhm.
like, blood brothers, right? Like you're
Sure.
like, okay, like we're in on this together. I would say before that, we sort of said to them, like, we really want to make sure if we're doing this, we can be fully committed. But
Mhm.
after that RC Pascal meeting, we were like, yeah, let's go, like,
Yeah.
come on. We were never concerned about, team makeup or, there's some incredible history of coaching, obviously amazing history of performance
Mhm.
for the team itself. So for us, we were like, okay, can we really get it done in time for June? And then how do we make sure that we're making the most of it? Like the thing you're mentioning about the artists, like
Mhm.
I want to say for anyone that's watching, like if you're an artist and you want to do something fun and you want to work with us, like write us. Like we want to work with the community. We want to be involved. We want people to feel like we're not in France. Like if you happen to be in Paris, we're your home. But
Sure.
if you're a local fan in Texas, like we want to be right there.
Awesome. Awesome. So might want to rewind that part again, San Antonio artists, and hear that again, what you need to do to work with Ledger and promoting, well, just promoting, just being part of the family and celebrating this partnership. Ariel, before we hit the break in just a few seconds here, what about you? I want to get your reaction. I'm hearing a lot about the company and, and your thoughts as well, but once that news hit and this, all the paperwork was signed and thumbs up, what was your reaction?
I was so deeply involved, obviously, in
Yeah.
putting the partnership together that I think it felt intangible until the announcement happened.
Mhm.
And we flew in from Paris the day before. So you're also just like you're jet lagged and you sit
Oh,
down
I bet.
and
Yeah.
suddenly, Sean Elliott's up there and he's like saying amazing things. And then we look around and the entire arena, every single screen has Ledger and has like
Nice.
and secured.
Mhm.
And that actually moment felt really overwhelming in the best way because it felt like, oh my gosh, we did this. It's such a great fit for the brand, for the team. And it felt really special. I mean, also, I'm American. I grew up in Chicago. I moved to Paris from New York. I've spent
Mhm.
time in San Antonio, in Dallas, and Austin in the past. And so I think it's really special when you get to go into a community and you're not trying to change them and they're not trying to change you.
Absolutely.
This partnership felt very nice in that regard as well.
Absolutely. She is Ariel Wengroff. She's with Ledger. She is their chief marketing officer. We're not done with her. We're going to keep her on just for a little while longer. When we get back, we're going to talk about other ways that Ledger is being involved with the team outside of the jersey patch and so much more right here on Locked On Spurs. And we're back right here on Locked On Spurs, joined by Ariel Wengroff. She is Ledger's chief marketing officer. For those that don't know, Ledger is the new jersey patch sponsor for the team. And, during the break, Ariel, I heard a rumor. Can you confirm this? That you actually dunked on Wemby? I mean, my goodness. How did you do it?
I mean, like, I cannot confirm or deny. You see, I'm sitting down. You can't tell if I'm extremely insanely tall or not. Like, what if I'm just like a 7'5" woman? That's like my arms don't stop extending. I'm like stretchable, Yeah.
Look at that. She does it all. She, does the marketing for Ledger. She flies to Paris and San Antonio for the conference, and she can actually teach Wemby a few things. So look at that. Look at that.
mean,
I'm kidding everybody.
If Wemby wants to challenge me to some horse one day, I would.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would say no. Everybody, I'm teasing. All right, that didn't happen. All right. Yeah, or did it happen? I don't know. Just kidding. But nevertheless, I think we need to establish here, Ariel, is it goes beyond just the patch on the jersey, and that's awesome. That's phenomenal. You're seeing it right now in the summer league. You saw some of the players model them at the press conference, but beyond that, what else can fans expect next season or even now?
Well, I mean, as you said, really being the jersey patch partner is kind of the base. Like, that's the expectation everyone should have. But what we're excited about is really everything on top, right? So the official digital asset education partner, we're going to be doing a lot for the youth programs in San Antonio, Austin, and Paris. In Paris, the Spurs is really committed to renovating and like bringing back some of the courts, right? So we'll be a part of that. In San Antonio and Austin, I can't reveal too much, but we'll definitely be deep in on the youth organizations. We teased in the first bit a bit about like us being the defender, so you can imagine maybe something related to blocks, right, and things of that nature.
And everybody,
and like way more. I would say, block party nights, just activations that already are exciting for the community. And then separate, of course, in Austin as well. There will be a lot that we'll be doing there during that time.
Yeah, it's great that you're doing that as well, because, and I'm pretty sure you know about this, the Spurs will always call San Antonio home. It is home base, but they are trying to expand their geographical footprint around San Antonio. So like up to Austin, in the Valley, Rio Grande, Laredo, Corpus Christi. So it's really a great time for the Spurs, not just because their rise on the court and the big deal, Wemby and Harper, et cetera. So the list goes on and on. But the fact that they're expanding that footprint, I mean, Ledger, you guys got to be excited at this moment in time for the Spurs moving forward.
They're in a really great transition period because they've shown their dominance. They're continuing to grow. They don't want their growth to be at cost to the community, and we want to really support that. And of course, similarly, what's happening in France. And then we know in a few years there will be a new arena too, right? So I think we're really excited to see how can we help bring our technology into all aspects of what is helpful for them. And then, on their end, what can we do to provide fans more insight and education about what Ledger is providing, which is a really inevitable future in terms of how we manage value with how the internet works today.
Sure, absolutely. When that arena does, break ground and complete it and et cetera, and fans can see that first game, I'm hoping to see it called the Ariel Wengroff Arena. I think that'd be awesome. I think that would be phenomenal.
Listen, I am very happy that the sort of like side club is actually currently now going to be the Ledger, Ledger, which is pretty sick for us.
That's awesome, yeah.
Maybe one day I'll be like a secret little Easter egg in a mural somewhere. You'll just see like someone with glasses like this big or something. ultimate claim to fame.
There you go. Yeah. I always say this. The fans always tease me, they just mess around. They go like, "Oh, Jeff, when are you going to get your San Antonio mural?" I said, for me, it'd probably just be a stick figure like you drew back in the grade school,
Right.
circle lines and like hangman or something like that. It'll be that. But Ariel, before I let you go, anything else, any other message you want to get out to fans, the city, the team about Ledger coming on board with the Spurs?
I mean, I would just say first and foremost, we're incredibly excited and honored to be a part of this. If you're a fan and you live in San Antonio, like we are here to give you the best possible experience, and we're so excited. And also for the college students that are in the area, we're going to be coming to your campus, and we're going to be building with you as well there. So,
Awesome.
we're going to be on the ground. We're not far away partners. We're not just the patch and walk away. Like this is a big commitment on our end, and we really want to learn from the fans. So please don't think that we assume every single thing is dotted and done. Give us feedback, get to know us. We're here to be a part of the community, and we feel very excited and welcomed. So thank you.
Absolutely. Ariel, how can fans interact with Ledger, you on social media? You mentioned earlier in the show everywhere, but where specifically can they?
Yeah, I mean, my handle is just A Wengroff, and you can DM me and I will absolutely get back to you. Like we love being able to talk to different folks who have ideas in this way. If you message Ledger, we'll figure out a way to get in touch with you as well. And that's probably one of the easier ways to do it. Maybe we'll even set up like an email account that's just for Spurs fans for the Ledger partnership. If they have ideas or they want to send things in. We're really lucky that we have a strong history of artists and UGC around the Ledger brand. It's sort of the Kleenex of the space. So we're hoping that continues into this type of partnership. And, we really want that relationship. So all ideas are welcome.
Absolutely. Again, she is Ariel Wengroff. She is Ledger's very own Chief Marketing Officer. And Ariel, you could just, take it easy on Wemby on the court, okay? Okay, take it easy on him.
Listen, I can't help it. I grew up going to, Jordan games in Chicago. So what am I supposed to do?
Ariel, look at that.
Oh my God.
It makes sense. I knew it. I thought I saw you flying in the air one time.
Listen, I'm just excited to hang out with you in person next time I'm in San Antonio.
Oh, yes. You know what? Sign me up. I would love to meet you as well. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to be coming in during the season once it starts.
Yes.
So, you know how to get a hold of me, and let's make that happen. Ariel, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us here at Locked On Spurs, educating the Spurs fans what this partnership is and just beyond it being just a jersey patch sponsor. We appreciate that as well. So again, thank you very much. And everybody else, we thank you all for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day, free and available wherever you get podcasts. You know where to find us: iTunes, Spotify, Ken's 5 Plus app, YouTube. Leave us a comment on the Locked On Spurs YouTube page. We're reading a future episode of Locked On Spurs. We'll be back tomorrow talking all things silver and black as Summer League Vegas section now gets started. By the way, they're going to be wearing Vegas Ledger patches, so check that out soon.
We're excited.
First time. So don't forget, check that out as well. And maybe shoot a screenshot of the Ledger patch that you see there to Ariel on the social media. That'd be fun. Yeah. So, we got a lot to talk about, even though it is the off season. Plenty to talk about your silver and black. So for Ariel Wengroff, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.